See, the one mistake, if I want to go back and correct it, is definitely I want to do whatever I did little faster. Because the biggest mistake, if you ask me, is delaying a lot of decisions actually hurt more than wrong decisions, I would say. If you ask me if I go back, I just do whatever data, whatever thought I had during that time, I'll try to execute it faster. In a macro picture, if you ask me, that is the biggest learning I had. So I think if you ask me, I'll do everything fast, whatever I do. My name is Raghav. I'm the founder and CEO of Animaker.
This is Code Story, a podcast bringing you interviews with tech visionaries who share in the critical moments of what it takes to change an industry and build and lead a team that has your back. I'm your host, Noah Laphart, and today how Raghav RS built a platform for making live-action videos for all experience levels to use. All this and more on Code Story. Raghav was a product developer starting at a young age. He was creating interesting products for science exhibitions as a kid. Once, his professor asked him to do a cancer research project, which introduced him to the story of Steve Jobs and his entrepreneurial journey. He was highly influenced by this story and still is today. In the early days, he focused more on the hardware side of computers, but slowly over time he was introduced to the coding side of things and found it a much more thriving ecosystem in India. Outside of tech, Raghav likes to watch movies, so much so that he reviews movies for his friends and tells them what to see or not to see. His favorite movie of all time is Troy, but he did admit he saw Inception twice, mostly so he could understand all of it. One day, Raghav found himself fed up with the lack of tooling out there when it came to videos, animations, etc. He got so fed up that he decided to build something to solve his problem and for 1.4 million others. This is the creation story of Animaker.
This whole journey started 6 years before, helping the non-professionals to create professional quality videos, animations, designs, and graphics. If you ask me why we started this, absolute frustration out of professional tools. Last month we crossed more than 14 million users. Quite a journey, I would say, in the content creation space. We started helping startups to Fortune 500 companies to build learning content, internal communication, marketing materials, and people use it for everyday social media tools. But when we started out this, it was not a very fully formed idea, I would say, but we know there is a huge demand for the visual content. But there is not a single place where you can actually... I'm very much influenced by the idea of PowerPoint, where you can really create everything. PowerPoint is great for presentation, but when you sit and create, you can literally create anything out of PowerPoint is what I have been influenced by. So same thought process. Why can't we create a PowerPoint version of animation tools and video tools? So anybody can come in and create their own stuff is the idea behind the whole Animaker.
Tell me about the MVP. Tell me about that first product you built. How long did it take you to build, and what sort of tools did you use to bring it to life?
When we started, we never started as an MVP. Our logic is when we start a new product, we need to make sure it is world-class. But again, sometimes it's not. It's a good thought or bad thought, I don't know. But again, when we started, we are not started with the idea of MVP itself. No, we went a full head because in video space, we thought you need to have enough tools to make sure it is done right, because you need music component, you need sound effects editing, you need this, that, graphics and everything. So we want to build a fully complete product to start with. But on the other end, when we get into the market, then we switch to the idea of MVP. So most of the time it helped us. So when we started building the features or improving the components, we went ahead with the idea of MVP. So whenever we launch a new product or anything big, we'll go full scale, we'll do hell lot of research, everything, make sure everything is perfect. Once it is out to the market, then we don't take bigger bets. So we take small bets and make sure that is learned from the market. That's how we have built Animaker, but I know there are a lot of people who built it in the reverse. They start small and then make it big, but in our case it worked.
So with any MVP, right, you got to make certain decisions and trade-offs about feature cut, about tech debt, if you want to start off a certain way to move fast. So dig into some of those for me. Tell me about some of those decisions and trade-offs you had to make and how you coped with them.
The biggest trade-off, if you ask me, not dancing to every music played in the market, right? So especially
I like that.
Especially when you build and you keep learning some things from around the people, there are a lot of ideas which pops out. And our market, if you see the creative market in the last 6-7 years, it's a very chaotic market. A lot of new ideas. I mean, now the metaverse is but again, if you look back, like a few years back, VR is super craze. I mean, like that, there is always a trend which is, keep popping out. So laser focusing on few things and make sure we need to assume that, okay, there are 9 out of 10 just die. But betting on things which will make you a bigger company, and smaller company is the biggest bet. Sometimes we fail, sometimes we not. But I think the biggest trade-off is letting go of few trends, I would say, is what made us who we are right now, I would say.
This episode is sponsored by Vanta. You're a startup founder. Finding product market fit is probably your number one priority. But to land bigger customers, you also need security compliance. And obtaining your SOC 2 or ISO 27001 certification can open those big doors. But they take time and energy pulling you away from building and shipping. And that's where Vanta comes in. Vanta is the all-in-one compliance solution helping startups like yours get audit ready and build a strong security foundation quickly and painlessly. How, you ask? Vanta automates the manual security tasks that slow you down, helping you streamline your audit. And the platform connects you with trusted VCSOs to build your program, auditors to get you through audits quickly, and a marketplace for essentials like pen testing. Join over 8,000 companies, including many Y Combinator and Techstars startups who trust Vanta. Simplify compliance and get $1,000 off at vanta.com/codestory. That's VANTA.com/codestory. This episode is sponsored by Kinsta. Between juggling client meetings, managing your website, and keeping up with everyday tasks, who has the time to stress out about website security? Well, with Kinsta, the technical stuff is taken care of, so you can focus on what you do best. Kinsta provides managed hosting for WordPress, offering lightning-fast load times, top-tier security, and unmatched human-only customer support. Whether you're a business owner, web developer, or running a digital agency, Kinsta makes managing your website easy and efficient. Kinsta provides enterprise-grade security, being one of the few hosting providers for WordPress with SOC 2 and other certifications, guaranteeing the highest level of security for your website. Thanks to their unlimited free expert-led migrations, Kinsta ensures a smooth transition for you from other hosting providers. Customers have reported 200% faster load times post-migration to their platform. What I find cool about Kinsta is their fast and reliable customer service and premium features that are included at no extra cost. Ready to experience Kinsta's hosting for yourself? Get your first month free when you sign up at kinsta.com today. That's KINSTA.com. So you've got your MVP, right? You've made your decisions. You've got your product out there. How did you go about progressing the product and maturing it? And I'm interested in how you went about building your roadmap and deciding, okay, this is the next most important thing to build.
Again, this idea got matured over time, but it may be easy to tell now. But over the years, these 4 key pillars got evolved over time, and especially when you develop things, this is how it is. Obviously, it starts with intuition because since you are in the market for some time, you learn the market as a founder, as a team member, you know what is working. So the intuition plays a huge role when you start. And the second key aspect of building a roadmap is definitely the feedback from the customers. Especially, we learn a lot from our CSM team, support team. Understand, because they're the one who on ground, the learning from the people. Sometimes you can also learn from other competitors, support or people complaining about the products and things like that. You can learn from that too. A lot of data, I would say. And the 4th key pillar I see to build your roadmap is definitely on the phase of innovation is happening in your industry. Sometimes you build something in one direction, but the industry is actually doing much bigger than that. So tapping on the industry phase of innovation is also another key influence in building the roadmap.
Well, how did you go about building your team? And, what did you look for in those people to indicate that they're the winning horses to join you?
So I always quote this example from Raghav from YC. We need to look for people who are very obsessive towards what they are doing. So not passion. Obsessive is little heavier than the idea of passion. What I exactly mean here is like if you take a salesperson who just won't take no for an answer, or a developer who will stay up till 4 a.m. rather than go to bed leaving a code with a bug in it, or a PR person who just cold call New York Times reporter on their cell phones. Right? I mean, these are the people's. I mean, there's a lot of examples I can say for graphic designers. But these kinds of people, you can't hire hundreds of them, but I would say first 10, 20 people you hire, if they are a bit obsessive not about the company, not about something, they're obsessive about their work, the way they do. They define the culture. They'll tell you the standard. Instead of we teaching them what to do, I think they'll tell you what is the standard in the market and things like that. They're very obsessive people. I mean, they move things in the world. I think sometime we'll be lucky to have those kinds of people, but everyone's dream to hire people like that. I think we also do the same. We have some process to it too.
Well, let's flip to scalability then. So did you build this to scale efficiently from day one, or are you fighting this as you grow?
No, I think no company will assume a lot of things. No, you definitely plan. Your plan always fall short, I would say. Efficiency will improve with people who are willing to learn from mistakes, I would say. One difference between our team and comparatively with others in the market, I think we all know, I mean, culturally we know that we are a little bit always inefficient. In that way, we kept tapping our toes and learning from the market and make sure we are more efficient every day. That feeling of that we need to learn more actually kept us efficient, I would say. That understanding no system is efficient and we kept improving, the room for improvement is always there, is what I would say is actually helped us to be efficient over a period of time. And definitely the mindset and tools that helped a lot. Else scaling is always super stressful. If you plan everything, everything will go right, definitely not.
How did you architect the tool to allow for the best flexibility possible? Because I think even early days you can start thinking about abstractions or anything like that. Did you do any of that, or was it kind of just no, let's get this thing working?
We had a few tabs in terms of data. If you ask me the scale in terms of tech side of it, this, both we do this horizontal and vertical scaling, right? Any company, when you want to fix it, we jump onto it and fix it immediately by scaling up your RDS and things like that. So to quickly fix the problem. But in the longer run, you need to look for areas of bottlenecks. I think over the years, we got matured identifying those bottlenecks before it got messed. But first 2 years of growth is kind of very messy, I would say. Then we started finding patterns. Okay, these are the areas when we launch this particular feature, this may go wrong, and then we need to backfill it. And these kinds of learnings we had. It's not fully prepared from day one.
Well, as you step out on the balcony and you look across all that you've built, what are you most proud of?
Yeah, the first thing, I'm very proud of my team. I mean, they're wonderful people, and without them, I don't think Animaker or any of these products exist. I think that excites me, and every day I walk with them, they come up with a lot of new, interesting stuff. I'm very proud of building this whole team. And the second thing which I'm super proud of is the customers. Because this market, especially this creative market, which touches, every common man who want to create, contents, videos, animation, right? You usually I almost get every day at least 1 or 2 emails, very personalized emails, sharing stories, how is actually solving their everyday problem. These are the things which excite you a lot. Especially last year, the amount of awareness videos people created using Animaker platform just skyrocketed. We spot a lot of interesting stories around the same. saving human lives via communication, right? There are a lot of people doing saving human lives in different forms. The way we are doing it is we are giving tools to people to create awareness about the things going around, right? That actually, I would say the best thing ever happened to us is that.
Let's flip the script a little bit. Tell me about a mistake you made and how you and your team responded to it.
As I said before, I think the biggest advantage in our team is we are fully aware there will be a lot of mistakes. I mean, especially me, I tell the team openly, like whenever we try something, we're going to try it for 3-6 months so that there is no embarrassment on both sides. We'll assume something and it may or may not work, especially building out a new feature. And even right now, we have been building this the monetization pipeline for NFT and things like that. We are not super sure. A lot of crazy things happening in this space. But we might be wrong, we might be right. But I think the team always on our sides, because we know from day one that this is going to be a experiment we need to do to grow from one place to another place. So we always take that route of not trying to win every game. We experiment and make sure it is successful. If it's successful, we scale. Or else most of the times when we have the room for trying, it's not just for me. I think the whole team operates like that.
Well, this will be fun to ask. I always enjoy asking this question. What does the future look like for the product and for your team?
This creators economy is kind of one of the fastest growing space in the market, right? Starting from metaverse to people who are jumping into this. Tweet got sold for $1 million. Lately, I saw a simple background image sold for $1.5 million or something in Bitcoins. I think this whole future for the creator economy is slowly getting evolved from. We started with the creation side of it, and then there is a lot of disruption happened in the distribution side of it. Now the third phase of growth is actually happening on the monetization side of it, which is just super exciting. Again, the biggest challenge, if you ask me, as a product, we are very much focused on what we need to do so that it's actually, whether it's going to be a $1 billion company or a multi-billion, trillion, it's all depends on the priorities right now, because we are in a very good space, I would say. But on the other side, the future for all our teams and products is around this idea of what need to be picked. And monetization is another big area which we are planning to work down the line.
Well, let's switch to you, Raghav. Who influences the way that you work? You name a CEO, CTO, architect, really any person that you look up to, and why?
The first and foremost is Steve Jobs. I always look up to his videos and definitely learned a lot. A big piece of it comes from him. And lately, I've been a big fan of this Andrew Grove, the CEO of Intel. The way he built that Intel during tough times is very much motivating. And the last few months, I've been studying this. Parag Agarwal, the new CEO of Twitter, his stories are pretty amazing, and he's down to earth. I do learn a lot about different person, but immediately top of my mind, these three people is actually ones I'm learning right now.
Well, we talked about a mistake, right? But a little bit different spin. If you could go back to the beginning, what would you do differently, or where would you consider taking a different approach?
See, the one mistake, if I want to go back and correct it, is definitely I want to do whatever I did little faster. Because the biggest mistake, if you ask me, is delaying a lot of decisions. Actually hurt more than wrong decisions, I would say. If you ask me if I go back, I just do whatever data, whatever thought I had during that time, I'll try to execute it faster. So in a macro picture, if you ask me, that is the biggest learning I had. So yeah, I think if you ask me, I'll do everything fast, whatever I did.
Well, last question, Raghav. You're getting on a plane and you're sitting next to a young entrepreneur who's built the next big thing. They're jazzed about it. They can't wait to show it off to the world. Can't wait to show it off to you right there on the plane. What advice do you give that person, having gone down this road a bit?
I would say, don't listen to any advice. get a lot of advice, but don't act on any advice until you believe it will work, because each one's journey is different and difficult. Learn a lot and maybe don't apply everything you learn. And more than that, I would say also, learning how to learn and whom to learn is super important than actually learning.
That's fantastic advice. Well, Raghav, thank you for being on the show today. Thank you for telling the creation story of Animaker.
Thanks for the opportunity to share my stories and all stuff about Animakers.
And this concludes another chapter of Code Story. Code Story is hosted and produced by Noah Labhart. Be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the podcasting app of your choice. Support the show on patreon.com/codestory for just $5 to $10 a month. And when you get a chance, leave us a review. Both things help us out tremendously. And thanks again for listening.
Business taxes. Was stressing about all the time and all the money you spent on your taxes.
This is my bill?
Now Business Taxes is a TurboTax small business expert who does your taxes for you and offers year-round advice at no additional cost, so you can keep more money in your business. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com/business. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service.